Recording. All right. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming in. And yeah, I'm a little nervous because I don't usually sculpt in front of people and talk at the same time. So well, I'll get started. So I have the scene set up already. You can see I have my favorite Unreal mannequin in here just to make sure everything is the right size. And I usually think about like what size I want the object to be relative to the Unreal mannequin. He's 6 feet, so I can just like measure it that way. Usually, I just eyeball things if it's my own personal projects. If I do have like an actual height chart, I will use the distance tool here to actually measure out the character. So let's just I'll just put it like if it's a character or an object, I can just put it here. And then this is centimeters because most people use centimeter, I guess. So like 182 centimeters. So I can just like convert it if I need to on Google or something. But yeah, that's how I measure stuff out. And then so let's just start blocking this out. And so to start with, I'll try to match like the perspective a little. Obviously, if I change the camera, it's gonna change it. So you just gotta eyeball it right. And I did cheat a little bit in the very beginning. I've been looking at this tank for like the past 2, 3 days now, so I kind of have like a vague idea of like what the shapes are now. So for example, like something I've noticed is like the side tread wheel things are like symmetrical across. You can see it. It's the same both sides. And so yeah, I only need to model one, and I can actually probably model this in the middle of the when I start blocking it out. I can probably like model it in the middle because it's gonna be symmetrical anyways. So anyways, let's just block this in. So right now it's just to get the general shape. It doesn't have to be pretty topology. It just needs to be the right size. Then usually I might go a little bit more in depth sometimes, but like right now I'm pressed on time, so we'll try to do our best. I am moving a little slow. My wrist is kind of hurting, so oops. So turn it 90 degree. No, we're not matching the perspective anymore already.
And for the camera, you don't lock it,
You can. I have one
Mhm.
here that I could just
Yeah,
lock it, but um, I'm kind of like
yeah, okay.
being dumb. Yeah, I actually learned this from Andrew Hodgson.
Hmm.
He's a really good hard surface artist, and then yeah, but I would usually do this, but at the moment, I'm just gonna for this, I'm just gonna eyeball everything. I'm not gonna try to match anything, but yeah, I'll just rely on my eyeballs. It's also good, kind of like a good practice to or a good thing to practice, just to like train your eyeballs to look at this stuff. At least I think it is. So we just gotta move that back. So like I don't know how far the back thing is, so we're gonna figure that out together. Woo-hoo. I can probably use a sphere here instead. You can see it's really, really far away. Like, this is not correct at all. Alright, well, I'm going to start moving stuff closer to one another. Oops, this should be together. Well, at this point, I'm just going to eyeball everything. Let's move this to the side. Oops. Duplicate across. We know this is supposed to be pretty fat, so we'll have to scale it this way. And then I have my PRF on the side too, just so I can look at a bigger image. Mm-hmm. If I move it out a little bit. This is good enough. Alright, let's just call this like pretty good. It almost has the same shape now. So at this point, I can probably just export this and start working on it in Zbrush already. So let's just export this into the demo. Then we can use either OBJ or FBX. Tank demo. And since we already had this set up from earlier that Dan asked me how to like how to make sure everything in ZBrush is the correct size. Basically I put a cylinder in, imported Unreal Mannequin, and now I'm just gonna import the object that we had, that we created. So demo, tank demo. I don't care. Yeah, and then you can see it's the right size. It's the exact same size as from Maya. And since I know this is not symmetrical, I'm just gonna mirror and weld. And then let's see. I want it to be more like this shape, so I'm gonna mirror it this way. And since these are poly grouped, I can probably just mirror it. I can separate all of this stuff. So group split. We can keep this merged down with the other thing. Same thing here. Oh, I merged the wrong thing. Okay, and then since this is going to be symmetrical, I'm just going to mirror it here. That's good enough. And then one thing we can do is actually, I learned this just recently, it's just to set this stager thing home here, and then if I move it back here, I can set it as a target. And then now whenever I want to work, I just hit this, work on it, and then it's like, okay, I want to check the thing back there, hit switch stage. And we can even add the array if we want to. So array mesh, we can mirror it across the X and the other way. And then like whenever I want to check, I can just hit these two buttons like, oh, I can just hit, okay, I can just hit this instead. And if it does get in the way, I can just turn it off for now. But yeah, that's one way I can do it. Anyways, we'll start sculpting now. Let's see. So to start, I probably would just like dynamesh it. Doesn't matter the resolution. This is probably a little too high for me. I'll probably go a little bit lower. So I usually start very, very low. Because like to me the most important thing in the beginning is just to get the shape of the tank out. So we wanna quickly block this shape. Like if this was a blob, like there was no detail or anything, what's the shape like? So we're gonna do that right now. I hit X for symmetry, and then I like to use clay buildup, and so we're just gonna start blocking it out. The way I sculpt is almost, I think, I don't know if it's like traditional sculpting, but it's more like it's almost like a 2D drawing. Treat it like a 2D drawing, like a gesture drawing. Just like go as fast as you can. Don't worry about the details or anything yet. Just try and get the shape first. I think that's the important part. And we know this whole thing is like roundish, so I'm gonna round everything out here. And if you have any questions, by the way, anyone, you can just ask whenever. It's gonna be like very silent for a while. Then use the move brush to like move stuff. Then redynamesh. Has like these ears. Then I'm using damn standard to kind of like carve out a little bit of the shape just so I can like see a little bit of the detail if I could. I can probably make this a little bit fatter. Then the treads should tuck underneath the armor, so I'm gonna like push this in a little bit. Redynamesh. Then lasso tool, the lasso mask tool. Move this out a little. Has a little cannon at the top here. Just blob it out. Should check the chat just to see if it. I will have to speak anything. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so at this point, I'm just like, okay, this is good enough, so I'm just gonna move to the body. The body is the hard one, I think, because it's covered up, so we don't know what a lot of the stuff looks like. So again, lower it, symmetry. And then clay build up, carve stuff in really quick. And since for me this tank is pretty round, so I'm just going to like maintain that round shape everywhere, the back, the side and stuff. Then standard again to get this shape. It has like a little shield in the front. And here we can actually insert the a cylinder, because for the cannon. So we're just gonna scale it down. Then we can leave that there for now, so we can just like carve around the cannon. And so if you don't have transparent on, the ZBrush will actually now like will block you if there's a mesh in the front. So you just hit the transparent, and then now you can sculpt underneath it. So you can just like work on it a little bit under if it gets in the way. And I want the sides to be a little fatter. Then there's a lot of machinery underneath here, so I'm just like carve it out a little bit just so I can. I know there's stuff there for later. Then let's see. Let's open the. Get this back here. Oh, why is that so far away? And then now I can just try and measure this out here a little to see how close I am. So like up here, Zbrush has like this see-through thing, and then I'm just putting my pure red underneath just to check the silhouette. And we're gonna try and match this. I think should be more like this. So we're pretty off the mark here. So let's just like try and shape it around it this way. Then Make it a little more transparent. Okay, I probably will work in this view for now.
And then for Zbrush, you also don't like create a different camera? Just
No, I
eyeball
don't.
it? Uh,
Yeah, in ZBrush I just use one. I just eyeball everything.
and so like, and so like, if you were to move the camera, like you just remaking it again, like positioning again?
Yeah, like if I did this, for example,
Oh, okay.
I'll just be like,
Oh god.
yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. For your own projects, you can kind of do whatever. But at work, if they're like, oh, we have to like match this as perfect as possible, then yeah, you probably want to lock the camera down somehow or other. We can actually use local symmetry here. And since this is an array, it'll just sculpt that automatically. We don't even need to worry about it. So what local symmetry does is it will use it will take the model. So if I actually rotated this like this, it would uh, try to find the middle point of this thing in this angle and then mirror across the X instead of like using the world X, which would be here. So if I turn this off, you can see like the red dot. There's only one red dot now. But if I turn it on, it's now going to be in between. Oh, in between this thing. Ooh. Yep, this entire thing is not the right shape, so we're gonna push this to the back. Move this forward. Move the cannon down. Okay, so at this point I'm like, okay, we're getting a little closer now to the shape. So we're gonna have to mirror everything again. And then see. Oh, it's this one. So right now it looks horrible, but it'll change eventually. Just have to get through that step where everything looks ugly. Hmm. It's better to move this one. Ooh. Okay, at this point we can probably start increasing the dynamish a little bit more. So I turn on wireframe just so I can see how much it's giving me because I don't want it too high. I don't want to put too much detail yet. So I saw that 48 is a good, okay number, so we'll just move to 48. And then we'll do the process again. Get the shapes a little bit closer.
Do you have like a second screen, or since the last time you opened PureRef, you've not been looking at reference?
Oh, it's on my other screen.
Okay. I was scared there.
I just memorized it. That's how good my brain is. I always have it open on another screen. I also need to check Discord just in case somebody asks in the chat instead. It goes here. So I'm pretty much like just drawing on the sculpt, which I think is pretty. I don't really see people do this a lot. But yeah, like this is a good way to just like know where everything is sitting.
Sorry, do you have the ref posted anywhere?
It's I don't think I have it. I'll just post it in the Art and Chill chat.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, like on my recording, I do have it like in a little corner. So, when it's recorded, once I upload the video, you'll see it on the side as I'm sculpting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just don't put it on this screen because otherwise my screen will become really tiny.
All right.
If that's okay. And we can push this in because it kind of tapers in. And then here for the cannon, I can probably just like, I can put a cylinder in here if I wanted to, but in the interest of time, I'm not gonna bother. I'm just going to get the shape out here. Oops, hit the wrong shortcut key. And let's see. H polish to flatten stuff. Is it fun to watch me sculpt? Oops. Whoa, I've never seen this. What's happening? Whoa, what the heck? I have never seen this before. Well, let's restart Zbrush to make sure that everything is still working right. Tank, blockout. Something going on with the array? Maybe. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. It's fixed. Hopefully. Huh. I don't know why it mirrored this many times. Oh, it probably mirrored the array over. That's weird. It's very interesting. Well, we don't need these. We don't need this either. Delete hidden. Let's see if stage is still there. Oh, it is. Cool. Well, let's not mess with the array for now. Mirror global instead of local, maybe, probably. I know, it might have been when I was hitting shortcut keys also. I hit something accidentally. But as of now, the problem is solved, so we can continue. I like this workflow with array and stager. Thanks. I took it, stole it from Mike Pav. If you ever need any ZBrush stuff, just go to Mike Pavlovich. You'll have he'll have a solution somewhere. Flatten this. I can probably mask this stuff out here. Thanks for posting the artist, Dan. I'll probably mask this out here. So at this point, I can probably start splitting stuff up. So here's the one issue with Stager is that it only works for this piece. I don't know if it'll work if I split stuff up and then if I start moving things around. I mean, one thing I could do to keep everything together is I can mask this out. So let's say I want to start sculpting the cannon because if we look at the concept, this piece is separated from this thing. So we can just mask out like this entire thing so we can tuck it in better. So I guess we'll do that. We'll just mask all of this stuff. what we can do is polygroup this, polygroup the other one, and then in Dynamesh we can turn on groups and it'll just split it for us. Ooh, there's like leftover pieces. Manuel. Then with this we can sculpt this guard area that's in the concept. And if things are too thin, just grab the inflate brush and then just inflate it a little bit. Like for here, we're having really thin pieces to Dynamesh, or like we have like these stray pieces. You can just inflate it. Make sure like they kind of like touch each other. So we'll just inflate all this stuff. And then Dynamesh. Oh, blobby. Then the cannon sticks out a little more. Almost looks like an elephant. A question. Will you be refining the shapes in Zbrush, or are you going to retopo on top? So when I refine, so once we're done with, when I finish blockout, I don't know. I kind of just like whichever is convenient. For something like this, I'll probably decimate it and then throw it all back into Maya and then retopo on top. And what's nice is that like I already have the shape down, so I don't really have to wrestle with like trying to move the verts to be like trying to move the verts to be accurate to what the concept is. And this is just my workflow. If you're more comfortable and faster with just doing it all in Maya or Blender or any other 3D package, you can do that too. I just prefer this because like I know where like things are at this point when once it's more blocked out. But yeah, and I think it's, to me it's quicker. I don't know if it is quicker. It might be slower. Still have to practice my own poly modeling ability. And I'm using the move topology brush. This way it can like, it won't move the stuff underneath. It'll try to keep it keep the what is it? it will respect the other polygon, basically whichever other polygon. It also helps with like when surfaces are really close to one another. Like this layer is like one touching another, but I only wanted to move the Canon part. I don't want to move the other side, so move topology brush is what I want to use, or move topological, sorry, right there. Also, this way I don't have to keep masking stuff in and out. Hmm. Can probably raise it up a little higher now. I've been ignoring the little cannon at the top. Let's just do that real quick. It's a little dark. Oh, so here's an example. So as you can see, like when I move this top part, I move that bottom piece. If I use topology, I guess it's still the same. Never mind. I thought I was smart, but I guess I'm just dumb. Yes, we can H polish stuff here again. Can you keep the array on while using Stager? Yes. But earlier we encountered some weird stuff happening, so I don't want to touch it anymore. Yeah, like sometimes when I run into issues like that, I'm like, okay, I won't touch it. I know I can still go back to it, but I don't want to, just in case it messes up again. Should be using this one. See, it's 150 right now. I have to like set aside some time for like other stuff, so it's almost been an hour, and we've been doing the same thing over and over again.
And what if you had like more planar surfaces, like a cylinder, or maybe yeah, sort of like the cylinder. Like you would just keep it like that.
You mean these?
Yeah, like
What?
where you had it like really planar. Like you just keep it like that, or what do you do?
I mean, for my own projects, I'll probably just leave it like this, and then when
Mhm.
when I polish stuff, I already know that it's a cylinder because I have the reference and I have the
Uh,
I have the
okay.
I have like a shape here. It's like okay, it's roughly this size, so I just have to like put a cylinder in and then just because I don't need to clean it up right now. This is just blockout. This is just to see where all the details are, where all the where all the pieces are going here and there. I'm not here to polish stuff out right now, so it doesn't need to be the prettiest thing. It just needs to be the right size, the right shape. At least that's how I see it. Like if I had more time, um, these will probably be actual cylinders instead of it being sculpted in. No, actually, no, we can just do it. Whatever. You can do it. Oh, when you're scaling, if you hold out, it'll scale the other two directions instead of the actual direction. So, scale the Y and then hold out for XZ instead. And I'm gonna duplicate this across. I'm holding Control to duplicate the shape. Oops. And from here, we can just carve all this stuff out. Oh, I think that's the issue with the transparent, maybe. Oh, nope, it's not. I don't know what happened there. Oh, very strange. Not sure why it inflates sometimes like that. Dynamish it. Just work on the body a little bit and ignoring it the whole time. I'm actually going to split this off. It's 2 o'clock. I don't know what the bottom looks like, so I'm just making stuff up. I don't know what any stuff here looks like, so I'm just gonna make stuff up at the moment. And I think this is part of the reason why I think sculpting helps here too, because like you can just play around with design here much quicker than playing around with vertices. I think at least. Because you can just like quickly sculpt something out, and if you don't like it, just like go back or carve, get rid of it, and then carve something new. But like I said, if you can do it with poly modeling, you can just do it. I think I'd probably die if I had to make this asset in sub B. Yeah, I think for a more like realistic tank, it'll probably be better to do it in straight up modeling it instead of like doing what I'm doing. Maybe, I don't know. I'll probably still do this, and I'll show you why at near the end of this video, this demo. I forgot to mention when you tap the gizmo holding out, you tap the surface to move the pivot point. It'll snap to like the surface's angle. So like that way, for example, like here, back here at least, when I needed to like in quotes move it out, extrude it out, since the pivot point is down here, instead of like trying to move it to the correct side, just tap the surface that I flattened. I can just move it out. I have no idea what the back would look like. I'll probably look up references for this, but for now I'll just do something. And the reason I'm carving stuff out here is because looking at the concept, it seems like there's obviously there's some machinery under here to move this cannon maybe a little bit up or down. So I'm thinking about like how this thing would move also. So like maybe like this front piece can actually like move forward a little bit, move back or something, shift around. This top piece cover can probably like open up. So if I maybe it can open up like this, and then the cannon will like aim upwards. Maybe, I don't know, just like ideas throwing around. So yeah, like if the top cover can open, you can actually make like a for the animation it'd be kind of fun, like if you when it fires the whole thing just like opens a little bit, give it a little more personality. But yeah, that's probably something I would do. And then we can see like there's like this weird piece here that connects to this thing. So this is symmetrical, but the inside and the outside is not symmetrical. So you'll have to we'll need to figure something out there too. And this shape in here is in the concept, so I don't have to think hard about that part. Then we have like two weird cylinder things here. So I will insert the cylinder now.
And then for the design portion, how far are you like taking it? Like, are you just staying in big, or are you going to medium and small?
What do you mean?
Like the detailing.
Oh, the detailing.
Yeah.
For the blockout, the detailing is like the major shapes. So obviously, I probably won't like go over every single vent during the blockout. I'll probably actually texture it. You'll see like I'll color this so we can actually see some. But like stuff like these holes, I might block it in just so I have a reference point. But let's see, what's a good example? I guess like now even the paneling here, I'll probably block that out. I'll probably block stuff like this. I might not block it out because this might be like easy to just like, okay, I see this. I can just like go in and put. This is why I said like it'll probably take me like 2-3 days to actually block this out. But I'm doing it in 3 hours. We don't have enough time for all this stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's like it's kind of polished, but not really like clean to the point where like it's shippable. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Yeah, it does. Thanks.
let's use the Canon as an example. Like we have like all these like cuts here, this panel here, this thing here, and this thing here. So I might just go in and do this. Just something so I can see how everything is laid out. Like this is good enough. The hole's a little big. I can mask it and make it a little smaller. Ooh. Oh no, it's not circle anymore. But like just like this, we can already see, okay, like I have all the details I need, so when I go and polish it, I just have to model around this shape. And push this stuff in. Let's try out this tool. Oops, let's see. Was it this? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's try this. Here to about here. I know what it's gonna do. It didn't work. Okay. Oh, it worked this time. That's too many though. Oh, it's not the right angle. Whatever. I realized I made a mistake. This thing goes down like that. Look, it's taking shape. I don't know if you formatting can even fit in there. I think it's good enough. Alright, see ya. $209 right now. There's probably some sort of hinge here to open this top cover.
By chance, do you use any alphas to like do detailing, like the pill shape, or like little
Uh,
circles?
for blockout, no.
Mhm.
I don't think it's necessary because we're not polishing. I will use alphas if I was, unless you have like some specific alpha, like example, if you need a nose and you have a nose brush and you don't want to sculpt it out, then yeah, go for it. Go ahead and put the alpha on. Just like put it on. You have a nose now. You can just adjust that. Like it will save you a lot of steps. But for like if you're going into like too small of a detail, like for example, like this part here, like you can see, like just kind of like brushed over. I didn't really do anything, but it's just like for me to know, okay, there's something here, there's something here. Just like it's kind of like a make me remember. So when I'm like modeling it or polishing, I'm like, okay, remember you saw this. Like, why did I put this here? Oh yeah, because there's this thing. So when I'm modeling it, when I'm polishing it out, I'm like, okay, I should remember to put this stuff in. Kind of landmarks, I guess. That's it. One way to put it. Okay, this is in the wrong location. Oops. Raise it a little higher now. We'll use the knife tool. And polishing this piece out a little more than normal, or a little more than the time right now, just so you guys can see like how far I will take the block out a little bit. I need a little bit more. Alright, see ya. The video will be posted somewhere for sure. I hit the comma key. I should probably split this piece off too. Too lazy right now. I'll just keep it in. Each polish. This thing will probably float a little bit off the ground. Let's split the treads too. Oops. Oh, I forgot to have local symmetry on. Guess I should explain what I'm doing here too. So hold Control Shift is the selection tools and the slice tools. So we can like select stuff, isolate things here and there with this. And green means you will isolate, or you will see this one. Red means the opposite, it will hide it. So in this case, to make it red, you just so holding Control Shift and you hold Alt, and then it'll just change to the other one. And with any brush, Alt is like the opposite of what you're doing. So that's how I'm like sculpting, carving in and sculpting out with just a clay brush. So like normally clay brush builds up, and then if you hold Alt, it'll just build down. I guess that will be the opposite. So let's group this. Actually, I don't want that. I don't want this either. Auto groups. And then we're going to split this off. Split hidden. And then we don't need any of this stuff. Actually, you know what? We'll do this instead. We'll Dynamesh and close it. Never mind. I won't be lazy. I wanted to close the treads to make it go around, but I'll just do it this way. And for here, I can probably turn off the perspective for now, just so I can accurately cut across. Oh, and then so one thing you can do is if you want to drag the line out somewhere else, and then you can hit space, and then you just move this around. And then I haven't let go of my pen yet, so I can still adjust it. Whoa, people are leaving. It's okay though. Oops, we want to use lasso again. I want to try something out. Inward. Oh. Cool, it worked. What I did was I deleted the inside so I can make the tread more like a tread, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. Or I gave the tread thickness instead of just like a giant rectangle square, but now it's like an actual tread. Because of how stylized this piece is, we might be able it might be okay to just play around with the taper this backside, unless if you want to keep it more realistic, we could just like keep it straight like this. We don't need this anymore. Now we can see through to the other side, but I know in the concept there's like stuff under here, so have to figure that stuff out too. And then if I remember right, tank wheels usually have like has like a bunch of wheels, so like even in between these there would be like another one. So it would be like here, and then maybe there'll be one. Oh. Maybe there'll be one like in between here and here and here. Something like that. We'll split this one off because this one has a different design. This piece is not a wheel. This piece is more like a cover of some sort. Oops. See, 236. I've slowed down a lot. Too high. I want to smooth this out because the treads here are not that solid. And if it becomes too thin, I can just go to deformation and inflate it a little bit. We can try the stroke thing again. That's so cool. Hello. Oh, I have to turn perspective back on. Well, I think at this point I can start like mirroring things across just so I can see how things are looking. So, I should save because I haven't saved in a while. And then we'll just mirror this. Oh wait, local sim off. Look at that chunker. I'm off by quite a bit. But I sometimes just like give up on the perspective because I'm like, maybe the artist just didn't do a good enough job. So I'm just like, it looks close enough. But sometimes that doesn't fly at work, so but, you can see like, it looks really off the other wheel. I don't know if it's because it's most likely because he just duplicated this across and just shrank it instead, so that's why. Or maybe even like the perspective is a little different, and we know Zbrush's perspective is very wonky. Hey, look, that's more accurate already. But yeah, there's like some stuff that I can just like shrink down or make large, and so one thing I can do is like, so if I shrink this down a little bit to match the two side wheels, I think the centerpiece is a little large, so I can use the T-post mesh here. And then we can just select the middle stuff, and we can shrink it a little bit. That way we can adjust everything in one go. Oh. T-post sub, and it'll just shift everything around. Move this back. And I don't really like how flat the back looks, so I'm probably just gonna round it out a little bit. That way we get a more interesting shape there. And then here's the problem for mirroring, we are now breaking the symmetry. So it's not a good thing because we know this thing is pretty much symmetrical. But yeah. We're gonna break the rules now and mess everything up. I wonder if Stager's still on here. Oh, it is. What about for this stuff? Not for this stuff. Just the top part. I guess nothing else has Stager. Oh well. Um, 2:45. So I have like an hour left. I guess I can like demonstrate like, polishing this thing out. So let's say I finished the blockout and I was like, okay, I want to start polishing stuff now. So I go save first. Then I will like, if it's too high, I will decimate it down. So I don't know, 20,000 sounds okay to me. So the point stuff is not the amount of polygons, it's actually the amount of vertices. So if you see like 20,000 here, it's actually 40,000 triangles, just to keep something to keep in mind. Then we can export this thing. Tank front shell. We started from this. Let's just hide this for now. Okay, and then since like I have everything pretty much like I see where everything is, I can just live boolean, world x, symmetry, and then we can just model around it. Oops. Cool wallpaper. Thanks. I didn't do it. I don't know where it came from. I think I saw it some other time again, and then I can't remember anymore. We I'll probably spend a bit more time trying to figure out what the topology should look like, but not going to right now. Skipping a lot of steps. How would you figure out what the most optimal way to figure out your tour should look like? How do I plan it out? That's a really good question because I don't really know myself. I kind of just like a lot of the times like how topology should look like for me is just by instinct. I'm like, I think I've seen this people do this before, so I'm just gonna do that. Like for example, like here, I probably should just add like, I'm just looking at it right now. I'm like, probably should add one more loop or something here. Just to like relax this a little bit so I can maintain this straight edge better or something. But yeah, I don't really know. I just go like, I've seen people do this, I'll do that. And then I've seen somebody do something interesting where what they did is they took the image, so like we're just gonna focus on the show, and then they actually like drew out the topology on here. This will probably be like something similar to what I just did. Like we're gonna ignore this shape just because we're gonna get the main shape down. But yeah, like you can draw on it if you want to. But yeah, sometimes I just like draw it in my head, I guess, and then just like I just look at it and go like, okay, I'll draw it in my head. Or you can like here, like you don't even have to draw it in your head, you can just draw it on here. Like that's a way to do it. Just draw it on here instead, and then if it looks bad, just fix it on here. You're still pretty early in the stage anyways.
Hello.
Hi.
Am I late for class?
Yeah, it's already over. Just kidding.
Um,
I'm just kidding. We're just well, no, we're not getting started, but I'll just give you a quick rundown of what happened. So I blocked this out in Maya, and then I basically eyeballed everything almost. And then I had Unreal Mannequin here just to measure the size to what I want. And then once this blockout was done, exported into Zbrush and then just like started sculpting on it using clay buildup,
nice.
clay brush, or whatever I need. You can still Unreal Mannequin's feet there. But yeah, then right now I'm just showing how I will like polish this thing out. And yeah, I exported it. I decimated it, exported it, throw it into Maya, and then now I'm just doing some jank topology to make it, hopefully it works.
Makes sense.
Oops. Okay, this is good enough. We can export this back out. Rebuild. And in here, because I don't know how to use GoZ, I will just import a cube and then import this in. Oh no. Where? Hmm? Says I have 5-sided or something. What the heck? Maya is being weird.
Try selecting like a few faces and then redo the cleanup. Yeah.
Oh. You are genius. Oh, I see. There. Oh, not almost there. Okay, there. We fixed it. Thank you. Forgot that the other side was not. Do you think you would get better results doing manual retopo than bring it back, or it doesn't matter? Are you talking about doing manual retopo versus like Z remesh? I don't know. We can try it. Let's see what happens if I Z remesh. I don't know the best settings for Z remesh, so we'll just see. Let's keep going. Error encountered. I wonder what it encountered that was an error. I guess if you just want to sculpt it and clean it up, you can just Z remesh. I'd rather do this though. And I will show you why. So now we can edge loop in. I forgot to actually like model out that other piece, the panel in the middle, but whatever. We'll just do this. Then we want it to go inwards. So this is too thin, so we have to increase the thickness. Let's try 0.5, see how thick it is. I think I want it thicker because this thing is supposed to be a tank. Okay, that's better. So now we can do this. We can dynamic sub D to 5, and we can increase the poly groups, and we can lower the crease level to 2. Ooh, it's a little wobbly there, but since it's pretty low poly, we can just like easily adjust it, just to so we get a smoother surface. And then for this, we can actually probably crease the edge here. Let's see what we get. Then we'll probably have to like move this down. Yeah, sculpting for me, usually the polish part is the part that takes like the longest. It takes years, and that's why I like the blockout section better because it's really quick. You get to be very loose, very gestural.
If you wanted to change the crease, like if you wanted to make it softer, would you have to reapply the crease, or is there like an option to edit?
What do you mean by making it softer?
Yeah, like
Oh, you mean like the thing about crease is it affects everything here.
oh,
So you cannot have like maybe I want a crease level of like 3 here instead. You can't do that. That's the bad part about the crease level stuff. Yeah, it's one part that sucks. So you want to like build your topology to be around the crease, so you make sure that the crease level is like the sharpness you want. We can move this. Okay, let's pretend I like this. Then we can see there's still like some weird stuff going on, but nothing a little sculpting can't fix. But so like in the concept, there's like this extra edge here that's easily achievable. I just noticed that my shape is actually completely, this is more rounded. I made it too flat. There should be like even spacing here probably. At least that's how I would build it if I was building this tank. We'll say good enough for now. And then let's see. So we want that extra edge. So what we can do. So if you built this a little better, if I have built this a little better, I could just like insert an edge loop and then call it a day. But I didn't, so we're gonna do something else. We're going to use Z modeler and we're going to Q mesh polygroup all. So it's going to just grab the polygroup of the same polygroup and we're going to extrude it out. And then now we can crease these edges again to make sure that they maintain the sharpness we want. The inside doesn't really matter, but I'm just gonna do it. So we have this thing that doesn't show up, but we can just do this. Are you ready? We will insert a single edge loop here, another one here. We're gonna use my super accurate mouse skills. Mask edge loop complete. And we are going to inflate it inwards. So I'm just going to zoom in here so I can actually see. Something like that probably. And crease again. I can do this. No. If this is bothering you, you can just do nothing. So now if you tap it, hopefully it'll hit you'll hit the edge you want. There we go. Now if I press subdivide, We got our edge. Woohoo! And if I want it thicker, I can just back here Q mesh, and then when I Q mesh out, if I hold Shift, it'll just like it won't create another polygon. It'll just allow me to just like increase the thickness of this. And that's a little too thin. But yeah, either way, but like from here on, it's just like more sculpting. And I can see that these edges have become really sharp just because of how close stuff is together. So we can maybe try one. And do like the softer look. And if this is too close, you can just nudge it a little bit so we can just slide edge loop complete, slide it out. And now it's a little softer. And from here, it's just like we can apply the subdivision. Oh, that is way too high. We don't want 1 million. But just go slowly then. 200 is okay. Then we can take the edge polish brush and clean stuff up. I guess that's what one thing we can do. This is too soft now, but whatever. We're just gonna leave it. Like I can just add another edge loop earlier. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to get cleaner surfaces than like whatever I did. Like this is horrible. I would probably spend a little more time just to clean it up. Let's see, it is 3 o'clock, which means I have like an hour left. Oh, yeah, and then what's nice about rebuilding it using subdivision is if this is not the size I want, like I don't like how straight this is compared to this where it's like very, very rounded. So what I can do is just go to the lowest subdivision. That way I don't get any like weird bumps and stuff when I sculpt. Like because usually when you're high poly and you're like trying to move stuff around, you can get like bumpy surfaces. But with subdivision I can just go to the lowest. And then not worry about that as much. Yeah, we don't get that weird bumpy surface from moving stuff around. And then we can, I don't know, sculpt details in. I guess I can just like get the lazy mouse here. I didn't turn it on. I'll probably just, whatever, not lazy mouse it, I'll just do it quicker. Yeah, and this is why like I would probably model this panel separate just so it's like you can get a cleaner surface with it. this just means I don't have enough polygons, so I might have to divide it one more time. And then you can see we're already at 1,000,000, so it will get very bloated. So with the subdivision, you probably will have a better time. Like, sorry. With subdivision, you can probably like, or if I did model a separate, I probably would not have to sculpt this at all. So like this entire section will be gone essentially. It'll be a separate piece, so I don't have to like worry about. I can just keep it in dynamic subdivision, which will save a lot of memory or size. So yeah. Ooh, we're just gonna do this. This looks very horrible. You can see my edge is very inconsistent compared to like this outer thing, so that's an issue that we will not address right now. Now this is all wobbly. I'll probably use an alpha for this. And also different topology because we had that triangle cylinder thing. So now we don't have like a good topology to make the rectangle shape that supposedly goes here. Or I could subdivide it. But we're already at 1,000,000, so I'm not going to. But yeah.
And in the workflow, you don't use any like booleans. It's just all sculpted in.
I just don't know how to use booleans. That's why. I am smooth brain. It is something I want to pick up at some point, though. I haven't finished blocking the entire thing out yet. This might take me more than 3 days to actually block it out. It is a very complex tank. I didn't even work on the inside at all. Oh yeah, I guess we can start. Since I only have like 40 minutes left or so, I can start doing the other stuff. So, at one point after like I'm pretty much satisfied with the blockout, I would start like coloring it just to get a better idea of like how everything is looking. So, time to eyeball colors, which I am always not very accurate. So we can just fill object, fill object. Then we can, this is like grayish. It's kind of like red. And then we have that bronze. Now we can use the poly paint. We have a bit of gray, bluish, grayish color for some of the stuff. Maybe a little brighter. Oh, and to pick a color nearby or like not previous color, but like basic color picker in Zbrush is the C button. So you just hover over like anything. You can hover over this, press C. You can hover over this, press C. Anything around, and then it'll just like grab it. So like if I actually had this, actually no, whatever, I'll just show it. I think it was Spotlight. Let's see. We have to import first. And then click this Spotlight. Oh, add to Spotlight. Then we can scale this down. We don't want opacity on this. All right, hit Z, and now I can just color pick from here. No, it doesn't let me color pick. Oh, so if I have the spotlight on, I can color pick it. If I don't, I can't color pick this. Interesting. So I'm just hitting Z for spotlight, and then I think if it was Control Z, Shift Z to turn the spotlight on and off. So this way we can get a more accurate color. I was way off. Wow. Oh, I was close for this one. Why are you not painting? Oh, it's because of the spotlight. There we go. Yeah, spotlight doesn't like it when you want to poly paint. So that's good to know. Or I just didn't remember. Yeah, I should probably block this out a little bit more. Oh, the cannon is not even the same color. This shape is completely wrong here. Alright, see you.
Would the poly paint still be usable? Like if you wanted to take it out of Zbrush, like a whip?
Like a what?
For like a whip, if you wanted to do like marmoset render or something?
Yes, I'll show you that in once I finish poly painting it.
Gotcha.
So what I did here was I selected since this is polygroup, I just selected this with the selection lasso, and then I just filled the object. I'm trying to figure out how to reverse this. Oh, it's S. Okay. So Control Shift X is to like increase the selection by like an edge, and then if you press S, it's subtract. That way, I can make sure that the color stays in here instead inside of the thing instead. Like right now, it's overlapping. I can probably go back to before I colored this thing. So I select this, select this. Alright, fill the object. There we go. Then I can probably use a bit of black just to fill in like the cannons and stuff. Make it feel like it actually goes inside. We can make it fancier by drawing on top. I almost forgot. Then this inside is all like reddish, so I can just fill it in. Maybe I should pretend and do something in here. Oops. Oh no. I don't know why I haven't removed that button. It's the explode button. It's for you to be able to see all your pieces. I guess that's why like I haven't gotten rid of it, even though I never used it. Whoa, it looks so amazing. Not really. That's good enough. But yeah, at this point we can say this is good enough for me at least. Oh, maybe I should paint like the back here a little bit just to make it a little fancier. I love how the front is very accurate to the content. The back is kind of like whatever. Alright, we'll just save this. Then, so this is not too high. It's at 2 million triangles. Marmoset can take it, but we're gonna lower it. So I'll just merge down. We merge everything. So now we only have this thing. Oh, I forgot to delete this thing. So now we can decimate it, and we want to keep the poly paint. So let's see what 250,000 points gives us. So double is like 500,000 triangles. So we're gonna cut this by like a third, 2/3 or so. And we did it. Look, you can't even tell the difference. If I go lower. Oh, we can see it there now. Well, 250 is okay. So now we can export this. Actually, let's do something more fun. We're going to I don't need to do that. I just need to do this. And let's see. I'll split this up. And I will split this too. I just want to see what happens if I do this. Merge down. Save as tank decimated. Now we can export these two things separately, or we can also use the FBX export here in the Z plugin. And we don't want the mannequin dude. We just want these the tank parts. Export visible, smooth normal, so it'll smooth all the edges. Like we shouldn't see this stuff. At least I don't think we should, but we'll see. Tank. Now we wait for a little bit. And it's done. The higher the number of the point count, the slower it'll be. Let's open marmoset here. And we can drop the model in. Woohoo. Yep, we don't see that weird faceting thing, but our cylinder doesn't make sense anymore, but whatever. Then we can I don't know how to light stuff very well, so I'll just pick something. You will be in a factory. And we want a ground plane. And we need a light. And we can change the perspective a little bit. And here we change the albedo. Let me turn these on real switch it to metal rough real quick. So in albedo, we just do vertex color. And we got our colors. It's so gooey looking. Metallic. So we can put a fill light here. And it's so tropic. I'm just playing around now. I'm not even doing the demo anymore. 341, okay. This looks horrible. Ambient occlusion. Oh, now it's really slowed down. Oh, that's about it. It's 3:45. I don't think I'm gonna polish it any further at this point. But yeah, that's it. I guess I can like do a turntable. Oh no. Whoa. Not in the right position. Now we can drop the Unreal Mannequin into. But yeah, I think like overall the takeaway, I guess, is just like sculpt loosely. Like you don't need to. I think it's good to just like keep everything very loose when you start out, and then just like slowly polish it up.
It's so good.
Goopy tank. All right. I think I'm gonna stop the recording here.